why do you think people should mobilize and go to Washington, D.C. to witness for peace?
I do so out of a Christian commitment, and I believe that the Christian faith is a call to be peacemakers. We just cannot live out the message of Christ, to love our enemies, if we go on killing them. Obviously, there's a conflict in between loving and killing. We have to be people who, in any given situation, will do what Jesus would have us do. And I am convinced that Jesus would have us make peace. The second thing is that making war, as our country has done over the last few years, diminishes who we are. It makes us less human. We are called by God to enhance life, to build up human worth. And war does just the opposite. It cheapens it. All of us these days are committed to poverty elimination. I guess Bono has done a good job in sensitizing a young generation to see that this is a primary concern of our time. There are 2,000 verses of Scripture that call upon us to eliminate poverty. 2,000 verses. No subject in Scripture is dealt with more than this one. And we all know that the major cause of poverty, the cause that transcends all the others, is war. Wherever there is war, poverty follows in horrible consequences, horrible dimensions. If we're concerned about the poor of the world, we have to be peacemakers, because only in the context of peace do the poor find hope for the future. I guess the last thing I would say is this, that we are called to change the world. And the ways of changing the world have to be seen in biblical perspective. I really think, without a question, that Jesus seeks to change the world through a people that are willing to live out sacrificial love. It can't be done any other way. Jesus resisted the use of power over and over again. The great temptation, Satan has him on top of the mountain. Change these stones into bread. Economic power. Jesus says no. He's told to go to the pinnacle of the temple, jump off and float gently to the ground, and impress the religious leaders, religious power. Jesus says no. He's taken to the pinnacle of a high mountain and shown all the kingdoms of the world. All of this political power is yours, and Jesus says no. I will bring in my kingdom, he says, but I will bring it in not through coercive power. If I be lifted up, that means crucified. If I sacrifice myself in love, I will draw all men and all women unto myself. We have a Jesus who has set an example, and he says, change the world, bring hope to the world. Do it through sacrificial love, not through coercive power. War is coercive power at its worst, and it is this that Jesus calls us to reject. The peace movements, which were always fringe movements, are no longer fringe movements. They're picking up momentum. And this gathering in Washington, which I am thrilled to share in, is part of that movement. This is not just a conference. This is a rallying time. This is a time to come together and say, peace is not just going to be an individualistic effort. It's going to be a collective effort of people of God who believe that together we can, in fact, beat swords into plowshares and learn more, war no more. I believe the time has come, not just for a good idea to be propagated. And if that's what you think that the Washington meeting is all about, I hope you're wrong. The time has come not for the propagation of an idea, but for the creation of a movement. And that's what we're inviting you to become part of a movement initiated by many, but coalescing in Washington, D.C. at this important get-together.